Okay, it is top of the hour, so let's get started. Welcome to the latest in our Paladin University webinar series on managed networking. So here's our agenda for the day. This is a half-an-hour webinar, so we have a lot to cover. What is managed networking? How does managed networking help you? What we offer and why. Paladin Managed Network Install Base, Networking 101, demo of the Cisco Meraki Dashboard, and at the end there will be time for a few questions, so enter those in the chat window and we'll answer those at the end of the call. So what is managed networking? Managed networking is the monitoring and management of our customers' network equipment, but what does that really mean? So let's take a look at a couple of examples. On the left here, we have an email alert that comes to us when there's an internet failover condition. So the Cisco Meraki firewalls have the ability to have a backup internet circuit or cellular for backup internet connectivity. When there's a failover event, if the primary internet circuit goes down, we get an alert that it's failed over to the backup circuit or backup cellular connection, and the end user won't even know that there is any sort of an interruption of service. They're still able to process credit cards. They're still able to access the internet. If we see that it's been failed over for a while, we'll give the customer a call. We'll offer to help them with contacting the ISP and getting their primary internet connection back up and going. Once the primary internet connection's back up and going, it fails back over automatically to the primary internet connection. We get an alert that it's failed back over. No interruption of service to the end user. The end users don't usually even know that there has been a failover event. So that's one example of what us managing your network is, what it really means. On the right-hand side, what we see here at the top of the screen is uplink traffic. So you can see some rather unusual behavior in the traffic out to the internet. So we can go back and look at the historical metrics and see what was going on at a particular time, see if there's some large volume of streaming video or something like that that is causing that unusual traffic and the resulting probable resulting poor performance. At the bottom of the screen is the some technical metrics for the internet circuit, so latency and packet loss, so we can actually see what see the health of the internet circuit. If there's a problem with the health of the internet circuit, we can have a conversation with the ISP on your behalf and try and get that corrected. So we can see that those historical metrics and those trending metrics, which are really important in our ability to help manage your network and ensure your network stays happy and healthy. Don't know the terms latency and packet loss? No problem, doesn't matter. That's our job to help you with that sort of thing. So one analogy that I like to use is, you know how you used to take an older car to the mechanic and he would say, geez, you know, I don't know what was happening yesterday when you were experiencing the problem you were experiencing. Today, with modern cars, they're able to plug a computer into the car and identify exactly what was happening yesterday at the time that you experienced the problem. Well, the same is true with these Meraki firewalls. We're able to see those trending metrics and those historical metrics and help identify problems. Okay, so the next slide is, how does Paladin Managed Networking help you? So our value proposition to you is to improve the chances that you stay up and running, safe, secure, reliable, with good performance. And this is the same for all of our managed services, which includes managed antivirus, managed Windows security patch management, managed backups, and managed networking. One of the questions we often hear is, but I'm a small business. The bad guys aren't going to attack me, right? Well, the problem is that modern malware tools scan tens of thousands of networks randomly and simultaneously. So a guy sitting at his computer in Russia, for example, has scanning tools running on his computer randomly looking for soft targets. The tools don't care where in the world these soft targets are or how big or small the business is. So the argument that a small business is not going to be a target is just no longer valid. Another question we often hear is, why now? I've been running for years without any security problems, so what's changed? Well, there are really two answers to that question. The first is that cybercrime is more than $1 billion per year industry. The criminals are professionals running a business and now have very sophisticated tools that they use. So it's really improved their efficiency. These tools weren't available about 3 years ago, so that's part of what's changed. The second is, in the old days, and we're talking about 3 years ago here, the criminals were looking for a few high-value targets. They wanted that big payout. But those businesses have large IT budgets and very sophisticated security protection, so it's a lot harder for the criminals to be successful with them. So the criminals have switched tactics and, by and large, are now using the tools to target a large volume of soft targets. Small businesses, unfortunately, are soft targets, which means they don't have the budgets or the resources to do a good job of protecting themselves. Therefore, the thieves, and that's what we need to be calling them, are targeting a large volume of small businesses instead of individual large businesses. So that's the answer to why now. The landscape has really changed in the last 3 years, so business owners need to be more aggressive in combating the threats. And that's the same no matter what kind of a business you are. If you're a hardware store, a pharmacy, a bank, a hospital, a dentist's office, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Business owners need to be more aggressive in combating the threats. So I'll just give you a couple of statistics to reinforce how serious this is. Cisco CEO Chuck Robbins stated recently, in 2018, Cisco blocked 7 trillion threats on behalf of our customers, 20 billion per day. That's 10 times the quantity in 2017. And Paladin has blocked over 1 million using Cisco Meraki firewalls in the last year for our customers. Another question we often hear is, isn't the trend managed antivirus that I already have from Paladin enough? Well, the answer is unfortunately no. Relying on antivirus alone is like taking a knife to a gunfight. Paladin recommends a multi-tiered approach to security, meaning multiple manufacturers using multiple technologies, which in our case is the Meraki managed networking, the Trend Micro managed antivirus, and managed patch management, all working together to protect you. In conclusion, Paladin's managed services, including the managed networking, significantly improves the security posture of small businesses at an affordable price. So that's how managed networking and all of Paladin's managed services benefit you. So what do we offer and why? We offer firewalls, switches, and wireless access points, which covers the networking needs of our customers. If you don't know those terms, don't worry. We'll cover them in Networking 101 here in a few minutes. You've probably heard of Cisco. They're the largest networking company in the world, but you may not have heard of Meraki. Meraki is a Cisco company designed for small medium business with over 2 million devices deployed worldwide. So one of the reasons we offer Cisco Meraki is Cisco is a very stable company that's not going away, and you can't say that about most of the other network gear manufacturers. Meraki is our premier offering, which is what we always recommend, but we also offer Linksys, which is our budget offering for those that are looking to be a little more frugal. Not all network gear is created equal, so this is another reason. We talked about the internet failover and traffic visibility in a previous slide, and there are lots of other advanced capabilities included with the Meraki that are not offered in other network gear. So that's a key differentiator. But another reason is that network gear has processors and RAM, just like PCs do. With cheaper network gear, those resources get overwhelmed, so performance suffers, just like it does in a PC if you have a wimpy processor and RAM in a PC. I did an install recently, and internet performance went from 5 meg to 30 meg just by replacing an old Netgear router with a Meraki firewall. So another reason for what we offer and why is all of our customers are very similar in their needs and network design. So another reason for offering Cisco Meraki is it's very scalable and easy to support. And on the subject of support, we have a 20-member customer support team, many of whom are skilled in networking. Our customer support is available 24/7, 365, which is something you can't say about a lot of the local guys. So next on this screen on this slide is a map of our Meraki Management Console, which is a tool we use to monitor and manage all of our current Meraki installs. A blue rectangle is just a Meraki firewall. A green circle means there are additional devices like switches and wireless access points. And the orange circle at left was during the PG&E outage in California a few weeks ago. So as you can see, we have customers running Meraki all over the U.S., which illustrates Paladin's ability to deliver, ability to scale, and ability to support remotely. All right, so on this screen, we're going to do a little networking 101. So we'll start at the top middle, the cloud that says internet in the middle of it. That's the cloud symbol symbolizes the wild, wild internet out there. The line that goes from the internet to the blue rectangle at left is the internet circuit that's coming into your building from your internet service provider. That circuit terminates on a device that the internet service provider provides and is located at your business. So it's a DSL modem or a cable modem, fiber router, point-to-point wireless bridge, and there are some other technologies that are appropriate and supported. So that device terminates that internet circuit and it's provided by your internet service provider and is located in your building. There's a cable then that connects from that device to a firewall, or at least it should. This is a typical network diagram for a typical Paladin customer, but it's also a typical network for any type of business. Doesn't matter what kind of a business it is. There should be a firewall at the edge of your network. So we find a lot of times that customers will have just a router with no firewall, and a lot of times there is just a direct connection from the cable modem to the switch. This is definitely not recommended no matter what kind of a business you have, so if you don't have a hardware firewall at the edge of your network, my contact information will be at the end of this webinar. We definitely should have a conversation about that and how to improve that situation. So the firewall sits at the edge of your network. Outside the firewall to the up on the screen here is the internet. Down on the screen inside your network is your local area network or LAN. There will be a switch for customers, all but the smallest customers. So the Meraki firewalls have actually got 4 switch ports. So for very small customers that have 4 devices or less, you don't actually even have to have a switch on the inside. For medium-sized customers, you might have an 8-port switch, or larger customers, 24, 48-port switch, or multiple switches for some of our bigger customers. Connected to that switch are all the devices that you use in your business. So PCs, servers, voice over IP phones, Ethernet connected laser printers, wireless access points, devices like security camera DVRs. We have customers with solar panel array management interface, heating and air conditioning interfaces. So pretty much any Ethernet connected device that you can think of can be connected on the inside of that network. So if you have a single store, single location, that's what it looks like, what's on the left of your screen. If you have multiple locations, you'll have the same thing at the other locations. And if you have the need or desire to communicate between stores, we need to have a site-to-site VPN. So the need or the desire may be Paladin's multi-store capability, where the stores databases are synced to each other and connect to each other and communicate with each other. But there may be other scenarios where you want to have store-to-store communication and you need that site-to-site VPN. So what is a VPN? Stands for Virtual Private Network. Think of it like a garden hose. The water can't get out and nothing can get in from the outside. So it's a secure, encrypted tunnel across the internet that allows you to communicate store to store. And then on the left side, the last piece of the puzzle is the client VPN. So same thing, still virtual private network, still a secure tunnel, still a secure connection. But in this case, it's an application on a laptop or a PC that's located at a remote location that allows you to run Paladin from that remote location. So you can be at your home, you can be at your lake house, you can be in Timbuktu. As long as you have an internet connection, you'll be able to access Paladin using that client VPN connection. So that's networking 101. So from here, we're going to take a look at a demo of the Cisco Meraki Dashboard. So on the left-hand side, you can see all of our customers listed there, but for this demonstration, we're just going to show you our network at Paladin. We run all Meraki gear here at Paladin, just like the gear that you run, that we recommend you run at your stores. So one of the things that Meraki gear is really good at doing is identifying the devices that are running on your network. So on this screen here, down at the bottom of your screen, you can see in the last day, you can see all of the different devices on our network, description of them, how they're connected. You can see what the utilization is per device. You can see what their IP address, their MAC address, the manufacturer, and a wide variety of additional information. When you hover over a device, you can see up at the top in this screen, you can see that the traffic pattern for that particular device turns brown, so you can see what device it is that is contributing to the utilization at any particular point in time. Up in the upper right in this pie chart, you can see the type of traffic and what it is. You don't need to know all this information, but it's very helpful to us in identifying what's going on in your network and identifying problems that might occur in your network and helping to troubleshoot. You can click on more and see all kinds of detailed information about the type of traffic that's running on your network, and that is also very helpful to in troubleshooting problems. When you have a Meraki switch, when you have a Meraki switch, you can see a whole bunch of additional traffic analytics. Again, this is a very complicated and messy looking screen, but the point is that you can see exactly where traffic is going, which device it is, where it's going to and from, all very important for us to be able to help you with the health of your network. Take a look at, when it says appliance status, by the way, that means firewall. So when we look at the actual firewall, we have a lot of information that is helpful to us in identifying what's going on with the actual firewall and your internet circuit. We can see what the uplink statistics are. We can see what the failover status is. And like in that previous slide that I showed you, you can see the traffic health, traffic patterns, and circuit health statistics. Sorry. So we can see the VPN status too. So for those of you that have multiple stores, this is really important to be able to have really reliable and resilient VPN connectivity between locations. And the Meraki Firewall's VPN will, it is just super resilient. When there's a failover condition, it fails over and fails back. The VPN doesn't disconnect at all. It's really a great solution, much better than any of the competition out there. So next, I'm going to show you some of our security, some of the advanced security capabilities. So if we take a look at this, what's on the screen here now, one of the capabilities that's really powerful with the Meraki firewalls is what's called geolocation blocking. And this isn't available in very many other firewalls. So this is an advanced security capability. And what this says is that it's going to deny access to all countries except these. So we're allowing access by default to these countries. This is what our default is because these countries are known to be reasonably reliable and host a lot of websites that people need to be able to get to in their business. 99% of the threats come from places like Russia and China and Eastern Bloc countries. So if you can eliminate 99% of the threats right off the top, it's very powerful and very beneficial to our customers. So under the threat protection screen, we've got a couple of the other advanced security technologies, so advanced malware protection. So the antivirus software that's running on your PC, its job is to protect you from viruses and malwares infecting your PC, but the advanced malware protection on the firewall detects malware traffic on your network. So it's protecting you from the same thing, but in a different way. This is what we call the multi-tiered approach to security. You've got two manufacturers protecting you using two different technologies from the same thing. So similar technologies trying to accomplish the same thing. And on the bottom of the screen is intrusion prevention. So this is like somebody trying to break into your network from the outside. This is like a security guard standing on the front porch of your house saying, no, you can't get in. And it takes action to prevent that person from being able to get in the future. And then content filtering. So content filtering or URL filtering or web filtering is the ability to block by certain categories of websites. So there are several different reasons for or goals that we're trying to accomplish with this. This is what our default is. Obviously, some of the categories here like botnets, malware, keyloggers, that sort of thing are security related. So we're trying to improve your security posture by blocking access to those types of sites. But there are also sites like gaming and gambling that are very high bandwidth usage. So we want to optimize the bandwidth utilization so that as much bandwidth, internet bandwidth is left for business-related activities as possible. So that's the reason for a lot of these other sites being blocked. And there are a lot of threats that are at some of these other categories of sites. So that's why we block those by default. Any customer that would like to have additional categories blocked, we can do that. Or if you don't want some of these categories blocked, we can do that. We're happy to customize that for you. So we're going to take a quick look at our switch, one of our switches, I should say. So you can see all the ports that are live, the sort of light green up here at the top in the illustration of this 48 port switch, or 48 port switch means that they're connecting at 1 gig. The darker green is connecting at 100 meg. So very a lot of information that you can see that helps us in ensuring that your network is running efficiently. And just show you another capability here that's really beneficial and helpful. You ever have a situation where you're wondering whether a cable is a good cable run? We can test right from the Meraki switch the cable run. So I'm just going to click on this right here. And you can see in just a matter of a few seconds that all 4 pairs on that cable are good on that switch. We also are running wireless, Meraki wireless. We don't really have time to get into that, but I do want to show you one more thing before we leave this dashboard. So at the end of the month, we get a monthly report on every customer. We do a quick review of that monthly report, and we analyze what's going on with the network and make any recommendations on ways to improve or change the network. I'm just going to scroll down. There's a lot of eye candy here, but let's just take a look at threats blocked, so you can see the number of threats blocked there, and other security threats blocked. So a lot of information, a lot of capabilities available in the Meraki firewalls. So that's it for the demonstration. There is my contact information. So if you would like to learn more about any of our managed networking solutions, please let me know. You can contact me, and give you just another moment to jot that down if you need. And then here's some information on some additional Paladin resources. So if you have a question, please enter it in the chat window or the question window, and I'll be happy to answer it. At this point, it doesn't look like we have any questions, so I'll stay on for just another 30 seconds or a minute in case you have a question that you'd like to ask. Okay, so that looks like that's the end of the. It looks like nobody has any questions, so that's we're almost up with the half an hour. So we're going to go ahead and end this webinar. Thank you so much for attending. I really appreciate it, and don't hesitate to give me a call or shoot me an email if you have any questions and would like any more information. Thanks.